Okay, by the way, very important disclaimer I forgot to give right at the beginning of this video. I'll give it right now. Everything I speak in this video is anecdotal based, which means that it's from my personal experience. It's not science based. There is no proper peer reviewed proof for this. Okay, it's all anecdotal. So take it with a grain of salt. Listen to it if you want to. If you don't want to, maybe you don't have to.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. First of all, I apologize in case this is bad lighting. I did not intend to shoot this video at all today. As you guys know, I'm busy right now sharing the videos that were shot during the lecture tour. If you've been following this channel, my page on Instagram, whatever, for quite some time on social media, you notice that since the beginning of this year, I've been posting content solely from my lectures that I did last year in India. For those of you who don't know, I no longer live in India. I'll probably make a video about that separately, but I did not intend to make any other response video or a video like you see right now. There's a reason why I'm making this. So many of you might have already heard about this. For those of you in the Indian vegan community who still were not up to speed, there is this very famous YouTuber from the West. I think he's from England. His name is Alex O'Connor. By the way, yeah, I wanted to say that the lighting's bad, the audio's bad, everything is like, there's no green screen, no pictures on the side, because I just recently moved to a new house and I'm getting things set up here right now. But I saw this video by the guy named Alex O'Connor. I believe that's his name, Alex. And he goes by the YouTube name of Cosmic Skeptic. He was invited to this very famous vegan gathering that happens in England called the Vegan Campout. He gave speeches there. So a very prominent figure from the West in the vegan community recently came out, I think almost a month ago, and said that he is no longer vegan and that he's experimenting with animal products in his diet again. He recently made a new video, just like probably a few hours ago, stating why in detail he stopped being vegan. And I heard his reasonings. I saw the entire video and I was like, whoa, man, I have to give my comment on this. So basically why is because he stated in his video that he is no longer vegan because he suffers from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Alex, if you ever by any chance watch this video, which I'm sure you wouldn't because it makes no sense why you want to watch the small YouTube channel here in India, but whatever. I too suffer from IBS. I've been a vegan now for 9 years, almost 9 years. I am going to be 31 shortly, and I've been suffering from IBS for over 20 years. So for all the 9 years that I have been vegan so far, I have been suffering from IBS. I want to first let you know that you and me share the exact same symptoms. When you were speaking in that video, I was like, oh my goodness, it was literally like looking in front of a mirror. Everything he spoke is exactly what I go through. So it's difficult traveling. It's difficult to eat before you travel. Should you eat when you are traveling and when you are outside? Because do you have access to a toilet? For those of you who don't know what IBS is, let me just say this. Those of us who suffer from IBS, what happens to us is if we get stressed out, are a little queasy, and we eat something outside, we get this immediate feeling in ourselves that we have to go to the bathroom, number 2. And we are just this way. There actually isn't any proper treatment for IBS. It's a medical condition some of us have, human beings, and you can somewhat control you can like manage the symptoms. You can't exactly cure it. So just letting you know, I myself too suffer from IBS, and the reason I'm making this video is not expecting that Alex will watch this and hear my speech and then consider going vegan again. Excuse me. But rather, because he has such a big social media influence, I don't want other people to be misled. So let a fellow vegan who's been vegan for 9 years, who also goes around giving lectures about veganism, who travels a lot, who faces the exact same symptoms that he faces, give his take on about being vegan for 9 years, having IBS, and still choosing to be vegan beyond that while still suffering every day from IBS. So I have my notes here. I'm just going to read from that. Again, not in any proper order, just going to go with the flow. So first things first, I discovered I had IBS. Basically, the symptoms really flared up before I got proper medical diagnosis, obviously, was when I was about 8 years old. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in India from the age of around 0. I was born here, and then 3.5 I was here. Then we went to the US, and I grew up there for the first 4 years of my life. So till 8, I was there. That is not first 4, obviously, from 3.5 to 8. And at that point, I did not experience any kind of IBS or any bad symptoms at all. Now, when I moved back to India and the food changed and the water changed and the lifestyle changed and the way people behave here, everything was so new to me. I was basically like an American kid, a Western kid. And I came here, and I would say it all started, at least I noticed the symptoms starting is when the food suddenly spicy food, different. We didn't eat like Indians mostly when we were in America. When I came back to India, like everything changed. It was so stressful the way everything worked here. And that's when I noticed my IBS symptoms coming up. The need to want to defecate even after you've just defecated, wanting to constantly go to the bathroom now and then. And I grew up in a very abusive, neglectful family when I was a kid. And during those times, my parents and my family were not helpful to my condition. I remember my grandfather jokingly saying that I was crying and holding my stomach and saying I can't go to school because my stomach hurts. He retorted by saying that he should, tie his legs together and his hands separately together and then stamp him in his stomach like some 10 times hard with your heel. Then he'll go to school. So it's a joke, obviously, but it scared me so much as a kid and only made my pain worse. So anyways, I've been experiencing this stuff ever since. Basically, we have this constant need that we want to defecate. It just shows up. Like someone who's not suffering would not believe this. Imagine you're walking on the road, everything is fine, you just had to poop. That's it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just happens like that. And there are some trigger foods for us, but it just so happens, and that makes traveling very hard, especially being an Indian. I mean, Alex was talking about how difficult it is to find toilets, and he's from a first world country. Imagine from India, it's even more hard to find toilets here. But yeah, basically that's what we face, those who have IBS. Now, Alex is somebody who travels a lot, gives plenty of speeches, lectures, podcasts. Like he's like far bigger than what I am. Like I'm puny. I'm microscopic in comparison to him, and came into the social media, appearance or social media, the relevance that someone has. So, but I myself would like to talk about my experience. Like just last year, I went on a lecture tour from the month of August to the end of November. Me and my wife traveled around India, giving lectures in various schools and colleges, which is the videos you guys see this year. We captured all those videos. And now when I was traveling, I went to Bangalore, I went to different parts of Tamil Nadu, I went to Mumbai, I went to Mysore. So basically I traveled a lot all over India, and we were giving lectures in random places. For a guy who has IBS, this is a bloody nightmare. Okay, such a nightmare, especially when you're traveling and you can only get crappy food from outside. And that too, as a vegan, my options are already somewhat limited. So I had to stick with mainly fried rice or the idli and dosa. Now listen, idli, dosa is awesome food, but if you were to eat the ones they make at home, they're great because they don't harm you. But I don't know what they're adding outside to the food just to make it more flavorful to the sambar and chutney. If you were to constantly eat that stuff, you will get sick, nauseated, like every single day almost for a span of like 4 or 5 months. So needless to say, I did definitely face some difficulties like Alex has faced, but there are ways in which I handled them, and I think Alex could consider doing that as well. First is to understand what kind of foods trigger our IBS and what do not. From my experience, as someone with IBS, high fiber foods make us want to poop more because fiber, pushes forth more bowel movements. So as a vegan, pretty much any food you eat has fiber because all plants contain fiber, and fiber is great. Fiber is wonderful for you. But the problem is that for those of us who have IBS, the more fiber we eat, the more constantly we need to poop. So if, let's say, for example, there was a lecture in fact, this actually happened in Bangalore. There was a lecture I had to give at around 11 a.m. I woke up that morning early, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., took a kettle from my hotel room, made a warm glass of water, drink that glass, helps, regulating and moving your bowels. I'm sorry if this video sickens some of you. If you don't like this, don't watch it. Like I'm going to be going in some detail here. So help flush out your system, Then you wait for an hour or two because you'll feel like it's going to come again. I like to just drink plenty of water. Okay, no solid food. I would have eaten well the night before so that whatever calories the food I've eaten will carry me forth in the morning. Here's where it changes though. As we're nearing the lecture, I would like to have a carton or two of some kind of juice or soy milk, any kind of plant-based milk. I even remember him mentioning in the video that he wants a nutritionally dense food. Dude, if you want nutritionally dense food, we have the technology right now. Go for fortified food, fortified plant milks, okay? So I would take something like chocolate or vanilla soy milk, which has a lot of sugar. because the soy milk by itself is calorie dilute. But you add some sugar, you get some glucose rush in the body. So I'll be putting in like some 200, 300 calories in the body with plenty of calcium and protein and vitamins due to the fortification. And bam, it's in my body right now. I go full energy with the glucose, do the lecture, finish the presentation, go back to my hotel room. Then I can decide what I want to eat. I noticed that, I'm sure even Alex and others who have IBS can relate to this. It's when we have to if we were living on a day-to-day schedule where everything is the same, we don't get the IBS symptoms. It's not that bad. It's when we know we have to do something special that day, something important, something different. Man, that's when the damn symptom kicks in. So what happens is that when I know I have a lecture, I can't eat before the lecture. I'll get sick. In fact, even after going to the college, before the lecture begins, I'll probably go to the bathroom just twice to check to make sure, dude, I really feel like I'm not gonna feel like I have to go to the loo when I'm on stage. Weirdly enough, that has never happened to me though. Never, ever when I have been on stage have I felt that. It's because I have now prepared myself well for it. I know what my symptoms are. I know how to deal with myself. So what I do is I have that soy milk or juice, have the energy, finish the lecture, go back to my hotel room. Now I don't have a lecture say for another 2 days. I can now choose to recuperate. I need to put calories back in the body. Bananas. You could have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Again, only if these things agree with you. Okay, you have to find out what agrees and what doesn't. Bananas high in fiber, which is contradictory to what I just said before. But that's because I don't have to go out again that day. That's why. You could, I used to order fried rice from, that Swiggy, Zomato app. It's there in India. I used to order that. Sometimes I used to go to some vegan place to eat some food. I had to manage. It wasn't fun. It wasn't the best options I had. Sometimes I would just dip biscuits in soy milk and eat that. It's because I was on the road. I didn't have much options. It was crappy. And for those few months where I did travel, it was hard. I didn't feel at my best, but I never starved myself. I starved myself, you could say, more or less starved, only before I had to go to a lecture. Or before I had to run around the city, going to different colleges, asking for permissions. Apart from that, I would never fast. I would always eat. So that's the way I handle it. I think we need to find strategies to implement and handle. Now, let's say, for example, I was still working where I used to work, which is Amazon, the company I used to work at. When I was working for them for around 3.5 years, my house was probably around 20 minutes from where my office was. Now, that's not much of a travel. But nevertheless, when I initially was traveling and going to work, I did feel a bit queasy in my stomach, a bit sick. I would try not to eat anything in the morning, and then I would try to eat once I went there, all these kind of usual shenanigans. I did that. But once I got used to the place, I got used to the people, I got used to the work, used to the environment, I noticed that when I'm not stressed, when I'm not panicking, when things are not so foreign and new, my symptoms don't kick up. I feel, at least personally, again, okay, by the way, very important disclaimer I forgot to give right at the beginning of this video. I'll give it right now. Everything I speak in this video is anecdotal based, which means that it's from my personal experience. It's not science based. There is no proper peer reviewed proof for this. Okay? It's all anecdotal. So take it with a grain of salt. Listen to it if you want to. If you don't want to, it means that you don't have to. But anyways, where was I? So once I got used to the environment, to the place, I stopped. There was no more any reason for me to have those symptoms. They just completely stopped, no matter what I ate or what I did. It was when something new came up, we had to travel again, go for a team outing or go for some important meeting elsewhere. That's when the symptoms start flaring up again. So it's about learning your own body, learning how it works and finding ways to manage it. And apart from high fiber foods, there's also one more substance that many human beings are consuming these days, and you too might be consuming this, I don't know personally. Alcohol. Alcohol, which is a very good, I enjoy alcohol by the way, great intoxicant, great drug, but it is a laxative. It has laxative-like qualities. So again, I don't know if Alex or anybody out there who's suffering from IBS is consuming a lot of alcohol. If you are consuming alcohol, which is a laxative, which makes IBS worse, it makes no sense for you to say that you want to, start including animal products, but you would not try to first get rid of alcohol. I mean, if you have IBS and you're thinking about being non-vegan, cut out the alcohol. Don't start including animal products back into your diet. Cut out the high fiber foods, cut out the alcohol. and try adding, I would say, like less fibrous material. For example, this thing's worked great for me. White rice. White rice is not a deal breaker. White rice won't kill you. I am from South India. We eat white rice. The majority of people here live up till the age of like 85, 90. They're fine. Do not listen to the scams spread in the West about rice, and especially white rice. White rice is totally fine as a staple food for you. White rice is a good food as a staple on your plate, and also is low in calories. So avoid the legume family, the beans, the dals, all those stuff. Rice and potatoes and some steamed vegetables. That's all you need. That's all you need. He kept going on about nutrient-dense food. Like, dude, okay, even if you cannot find nutrient-dense food, I mean, think for a moment. Just take a multivitamin to make sure you get the vitamins you need, vegan multivitamin, for the days where you have to travel, and just eat potatoes. Eat nothing else. Now you're asking questions like, but I'm unable to accept every offer I get and people ask me to come outside or it makes traveling difficult. Well, I mean, my friend, I understand the difficulty you go through, but we have to find out who's your real friend or not. I mean, if you have a friend circle or anybody who is not willing to be accommodating to your very valid struggles and problems, that's not a good friend circle now, is it? I mean, we live in a messed up society, a messed up world where some diseases are lauded. Imagine suppose I said I had cancer and everyone would love me. I put a picture of me on and saying I'm suffering from cancer and people are like, oh my God, I pray for you. God bless you. I hope you get well soon. Blah, blah, blah. I go outside and say I have cancer and everyone wants to help me. If I said I was handicapped and I was sitting in a wheelchair, everybody now wants to push the wheelchair for me because, doing that makes them a good person. But, you suffer from IBS. Oh, you have piles. Oh, you have hemorrhoids, which is something else I suffered from many years ago. That's another horrible disease, by the way. During my non-vegan days, that's a horrible disease. That is the lack of fiber, by the way. It's so yeah, those of us who suffer from IBS, those of us who suffer from IBS, we can never get a break. Anyways, I'm going way off topic here right now. The point is that people have to be accommodating to your disabilities, your sicknesses, your conditions, or whatever. Your medical condition is a very valid medical condition. If someone is not going to be, I understand it makes us feel awkward to put forth this medical condition to people because, come on. These are things that are always mocked and laughed at, right? Like flatulence, having to go to the bathroom. These are things that are always mocked at, ridiculed in all cultures, all over the world. So it's difficult, but I think we have to... The focus should be on creating a more tolerant, acceptable society where even people who suffer from different conditions can have a smooth working environment, and not about vegans who stand up for a particular principle, choosing to go back to exploiting and harming animals because the society is messed up. You understand what I'm saying? I understand you come from a difficult position, but we have to create a better society, not use this as an opportunity or an excuse to abuse and exploit animals. Now, I think it's very important to talk about one thing here, and that is why, let's just say if I were exactly in Alex's shoes right now, I was the Cosmic Skeptic. I was the guy with 500,000 subscribers and, universities and people all over the world, renowned people calling me out for debates and stuff. If I was in his place, what would I do? If I were the Cosmic Skeptic, and what I would do is that, first of all, I place my values and my beliefs above anything else. Not all of my values. It depends on what those values and beliefs entail, right? If my value, me not believing in something, didn't really amount to any other negative repercussion in this world, it's okay. It's not a big deal. But if someone else's literal existence was going to be ended, like I say, for example, if I had to, I'll make sure my IBS symptoms are not cured, by the way. I feel less of my IBS symptoms if I kill a human every now and then. I would never do that. I can never justify killing another human being or a human child or anybody. Now, if I can't do that to a human or a human child, again, I don't need to explain this to you, Alex. You have spoken probably way more than I have about this. How do I justify doing that to a non-human who is just as sentient as the human? This is a point where we have to place our beliefs above anything else, because our belief means that we no longer kill someone. Look, I understand how do I put this, man? You're killing somebody, okay? You're killing them. You're literally killing them. You're ending it all for them. How can we say that our convenience can be justified more than that? If I were the Cosmic Skeptic, what would I do? I would tell to the people, first of all, who are calling me for these outings or meetings or whatever it is you're talking about, listen, this is my conditions, my medical conditions. Can you please accommodate me for this? Please. And if they say no, then screw it. I will not go for it. Because if having to go for that means I have to kill someone else here, I will choose not to. I cannot kill someone for that. Here's another point I want to make. Let's say, for example, I myself, while going on that lecture tour I just did like several months ago, let's say it was only possible for me to do it if I had to consume dairy or I had to consume some kind of meat or something. I wouldn't have done it. I would say, you know what, Arvind, maybe you're not cut out to be a vegan activist. Maybe you're a good speaker. Maybe you can train somebody else to speak and then let them go and speak. But how can I compromise my values for getting likes on social media, for doing what I believe is the greater good? Look, this might then come up as a question like, okay, what if you did your lecture tour and you managed to make, let's say, 1,000 people vegan while you were a non-vegan and consumed marginal amount of animal products? That's still wrong. That is still 100% wrong. And that's just a hypothetical situation. We can't use that as reality. So, you also mentioned how there are vegans out there who are bullying you, sending you nasty comments and responses. Vegans calling you mentally challenged. Vegans saying that they want to have you hung. Okay. Fine, you're pointing out the vegans who said such extreme things to you. Okay, fair enough. What about the vegan doctors who genuinely reached out to you, genuine supporters of you, saying that they want to help you understand why your diet isn't working and offer you probably advice completely for free of charge to help you get back on track? Why do you not mention them? Why did you not take up their offer? If you can mention the people who spoke, as you would call it, as in a harassing way to you, what about the people who, lent over an olive branch to you? Why did you not speak to them? Here's another tactic that I had used previously last year. I did it twice. Again, anecdotal, not scientific, at least not as of yet. Fasting. Fasting has helped me immensely in reducing my IBS symptoms. In fact, last year I fasted twice. Once for 7 days and once for 8 days. Fasting means I drank only water during the 7 or 8 days. I did not eat any kind of solid food. When you do that, you're giving your body to go into this mode called autophagy. You can read more about it online. The body kind of like resets, like what has been going wrong for all this time. The digestive tract was finally given a break after all these years, and it kind of resets inside. Doesn't completely cure it, but it makes the disease much more manageable for those out there who are having IBS. Don't start fasting for a week like I did. Don't do that, okay? I'm experienced in fasting. Start off with a day or 2 or 3 and then slowly increase. I've been fasting for quite a long time in my life. I'm experienced, so I was able to do it. Don't just try 7 days or 8 days right off the bat. If I were the Cosmic Skeptic and I still wanted to get my work done the way I wanted it to, I would lump the work together. Like say the next 10 days, boom, I'm going to travel, do all my work, just go through the motions, all the difficulties, and then stop. The next 20, 30 days, I'm taking a break, eating only the food I know from the convenience of my house or at a hotel room or whatever, and recuperating and then going at it again. Whatever be the case, I think being an ethical vegan, as you were, and understanding exactly what's going on to animals and why there is something why it is immoral to consume flesh or eggs or drink milk or consume honey, the decision you have made is extremely perplexing. Understand that there are others like you out there. You could have now used your content to explain such a big platform you have. There are so many people who are vegan, just like you. I am suffering from IBS. And you could have explained to us all like how, despite having this condition, you still decided to manage your symptoms and go on with it. And how, you know what? I'm going to start doing this. Since clearly you're not going to do it. I hope you will, but you're not, I guess. So I'm going to start making content as how I, as a vegan of 9 years, who's been suffering from IBS for 20 plus years, is managing his symptoms, still living a normal life as much as practically possible, and still is achieving all his goals, be it when it comes to my personal life with my family, be it when it comes to my activism goals, be it when it comes to me making a living. I'm still managing to do that as a vegan with IBS. So yeah, someone has to do it. I guess I'll do it. So yeah, that's pretty much my points. And as you guys can see, this video is completely messed up. There is no proper arrangement of anything. I just decided to see his video, note down a few points, and then just make a response, because honestly, like, after hearing the reason that he stopped being a vegan is because of IBS, I was like, man, yeah, my camera got cut unfortunately at the wrong time. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's pretty much for the video. I'm so sorry that, you know, this was done in such a rushed format. No green screen, no pictures, no other videos running on the side. My points weren't even properly put one below the other. It's just all jumbled up. I'm not in a position right now where I could make such a response. Maybe one day I will. And yeah, I'll definitely consider to start making videos of how I have been managing my IBS, and I still continue to do so after all these years, because clearly Alex is not gonna do it. So that's pretty much it. If you are a vegan who's suffering from IBS, please, I'll have you know you're not alone. It is a very difficult disease to live with, but we can manage it, and we have to find better ways, more strategic ways. We need to have a better community for this. That should be a solution. Like, Alex could have been the pioneer and led us along a good route, that route. But I guess the rest of us can still do so as well. So I guess that's pretty much that, guys. So thank you so much for watching. And once again, I apologize if this video was completely nonsensical, wasn't useful at all. Sorry, I keep coughing because I've been talking for a long time. It's just that I just had to make this video the moment I saw his second video, and he was like, oh, it's because I have IBS. Like, you know, I could not shut up. So yeah, that's that. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys. See you later next time, and bye.